Hello dear outlaws, your favorite desperado here, D-Bomb Plague. Last time, we explored some of the most obscure and arcane games set in the wild, weird west, but there's nothing weird about today's game, apart from the fact that it isn't as popular as it should be. Join me in this journey through the regular Old West as we check what some might say is the original forgotten Red Dead Redemption. Let's take a look at Gone. Before we get into specifics, let's consult the old tome of knowledge known as the Internet and answer a simple query. What is Gone? Gone is an action-adventure game developed by Neversoft, yes, those of Tony Hawk Pro Skater and Guitar Hero fame, and published by Activision in 2005. But wait, Mr. Plague, you're talking nonsense! How can this game be the forgotten Red Dead Redemption when Red Dead Revolver exists and was released the year before Gone? Well, you have a solid point there, annoyingly accurate gaming aficionado. But to that I say, Red Dead Revolver is not nearly as good as Gone. I know I'm going to shake a few cages with this, but Revolver is not an open world game, while Gone and the highly regarded Red Dead Redemption have fully explorable worlds, even though they have notable differences. So, is this game good enough to be compared with Redemption? Let's grab the controller and find out. The first thing that we see is a cutscene that looks very impressive, considering that this game came out almost 20 years ago. Time to choose a difficulty. I'll go with normal, because I've read some horror stories about this game's difficulty spike, but maybe they're exaggerated. I'll keep my enhancing potion in hand just in case. Not that type of enhancing potion, I don't need that. Most of the time. We then get the real introductory cutscene of the game, with some Native Americans who look like zombies killing some conquistadors, and then apparently nothing happening for another 300 years, when we take control of our protagonist, Colton White, who makes a living hunting with his dad and selling the meat on steamboats. The game starts off with some tutorial sections on shooting, introducing us to its own Dead Eye equivalent, Quick Draw, which is used to slow down time and shoot a lot of targets in a short period of time, even though we'll see more effective and necessary uses of this mechanic later on in the game. You can also perform melee attacks, first only with a knife, but you'll get more weapons along the way. The hunting starts out simple, with you killing a deer and... Wait, is that a fucking grizzly bear? Fortunately, I managed to kill the bear before it trampled me to death, and we're off to the steamboat to sell the meat. Once there, our father makes a transaction with a hooker. Well, what else could she be? But then it all goes down the drain when a shady-looking preacher goes crazy, kills the hooker, and then calls his zombie-looking henchmen to attack the boat. Seriously, why do all the bad guys so far look like fucking zombies? Now we know where the inspiration for Undead Nightmare came from. We go around the boat, killing the evil men, until there are too many, and Ned, no not that one, tells us that he's not our father, throws us off the board, and the boat blows up. He also tells us to go to a town called Dodge and find another hooker called Jenny. Man, what's with this dude and the prostitutes? Thank God he's not a real father, otherwise he'd be a terrible father figure. Anyway, we wager with a hobo for a horse, which also serves as a small tutorial for horse controls. But remember, this is the Wild West, so he calls his hobo friends to kill us, but we're the main character, so we slaughter them in less than a minute, and then we're free to roam around and follow Ned's directions. You get to Dodge and find Jenny, and you get entangled in one of the most prevalent cliches in the Western genre, a tavern/brothel brawl/shootout. You do your part to rescue Jenny, and she accepts to help you. After giving you a proper reward, of course. If I were a big channel, this is the part where I joke about getting demonetized. Well, at least Colton is getting some, unlike poor Arthur in Red Dead Redemption 2. You get sent to talk to the local sheriff, who saw your performance in the brothel. I mean, the shootout, not the sex, obviously. And then he immediately recruits you to help with some town bullshit. Although, it makes sense, given that the mission is to help with the repairing of the bridge that will allow you to leave the town for your next destination. Apparently, some Native Americans want to keep the bridge closed, so your task is, of course, murder every single one of them. Keep in mind that I'm using the term Native Americans out of my own accord, given that in the game they're just straight up labeled as Indians. Curiously enough, there was quite an uproar from the Native American community once this game was released, with them officially requesting the game to be recalled from stores and eliminating the offensive stereotype of the community. This didn't happen, of course, as the developers' reason for this was to maintain historical accuracy, but I'm getting off topic. Oh nice! I can shoot these TNT barrels and get some easy kills. I should have known. Turns out that what you have to do is to throw the explosive barrels to the river in order to avoid the enemies blowing them up. I'm sorry, but my solution made so much more sense in my head. Anyway, you get rid of the barrels, kill some more natives while protecting the workers who are repairing the bridge, and once you're almost finished, you have to prevent more TNT barrels from blowing up. Seriously, keep the fucking dynamite away from the structures. Remember that I told you that there was another use for quick draw apart from killing enemies in slow motion? Here you learn that you can use it to shoot arrows in mid-air. Now that's quite a talent. After failing a couple times and getting blown to smithereens, the big baddie appears and... Damn, is this man made of lead or what? Once that's taken care of, you can finally leave town with Jenny. One thing that I really like about this game is that the missions can get pretty intense and chaotic. Here you're tasked with protecting the coach from the Apaches, and holy shit, it gets tough. At least the game is pretty forgiving with the checkpoints in the missions. Something other companies could have implemented in their games.
All we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ!
After that high-octane action sequence, you get to the other town, Empire, and meet with the mayor, Hoodoo Brown, who, guess what, is voiced by Ron Perlman. Remember him? Hellboy, Sheriff Colleen Trigan, the voice of the main character in West of Dead? If you want more information, you can go ahead and check out my previous video about obscure Western games right here. And hey, if you like what you're seeing so far, maybe like the video and subscribe. It truly helps a starving artist like me. Moving on, this is a nice moment to mention that, apart from the main mission of the game, you also have various types of side quests, like helping keep order in town, time deliveries on horseback, helping out the ranches, and of course, the bounties by interacting with the wanted posters. You know, those classics wanted dead or alive posters you always see in Western related media. Curiously enough, the conditions of the bounties can vary, with some netting more money if taken alive, others being mandatory to keep the outlaw alive, and others straight up asking you to kill the bandit. These are all fun side activities, and the game encourages you to take them on, given that completing them enhances your stats, so if you focus only on the main quests, you're gonna have a rough time. Believe me, I know. These side quests can also lead to pretty funny and bizarre situations, like here, you're asked to recover a stolen horse from a bandit, and once you return it to its owner, he straight up says he's taking it to the glue factory. What the fuck? Or here, in the deputy missions, save the whore? Damn, this game is wild. I also found that you can actually kill townsfolk, but it lowers the town's patience. Once depleted, you will get chased by the law, even though I didn't actually go through with it because I'm a law-abiding cowboy this time around. One thing that actually bothered me about the side quests is that it can be a bit difficult to traverse the open world, as you can see an X on your minimap marking the spot, but if you open the full map, it's nowhere to be found, so it's not always clear what is the route you need to take to get to your destination. Continuing with the game's plot, you get named as Deputy of Empire, and Hoodoo lends you his 2 trusted goons to go on a chase and search of a bandit lair. You end up in a ranch and one of the goons kills a poor rancher in cold blood, revealing they're corrupt and that Hoodoo set you up. So a gunfight ensues against the Brothers of Destruction. You get a prompt from the game letting you know that you can roll. Wait, I've been playing for almost 3 hours and just get this information? Not cool, game. Not cool. Oh, never mind. The roll fucking sucks. Better take cover and shoot from safety. Otherwise you'll get absolutely demolished. Also, don't take this as animal cruelty, but it's way easier to kill the mounted goon if you kill his horse first. Sorry, Bojack. We head back to Empire to confront Hoodoo for his trickery, but the preacher has already gotten there and kills Jenny before our eyes, before Hoodoo reveals his true colors and knocks you out. You then get properly introduced to the game's main villain, Magruder, who gives the order to have you hanged in the morning for the murder of Jenny, just to prove that you can't trust anyone in the Old West. In jail, you get to know two jolly chaps. One of them tells you that Magruder is taking over the territory, and the ones you deemed as bandits in the previous mission are actually a resistance against the bureaucrats' monopoly. You help them out in a prison break, proving once again how exciting and thrilling the missions in this game are, and then you join the resistance. The first thing you do in your new enterprise is, you won't believe, setting up an ambush for a train with explosives, having a shootout when things go awry, having a high-speed horseback ride back to the ambush, derail a fucking train, and facing Magruder's men in the ruins of the ambush. Did I mention how intense the missions are in this game? Before I continue with the story, I might as well find a shopkeeper and buy some upgrades for the guns, as I feel I will need them down the line. Let me just talk to him. Oh shit, I hit the wrong button.
New shipment of goods. Have a look.
I get some upgrades with the limited money I have earned, but trust me, I wish I had gotten more. Oh look, a dog! I wanna pet the dog. Is it possible? You can pet the dog. Game fucking sucks. More high-octane action ensues as you defend the resistance hideout using a Gatling gun and a fucking cannon. Then it's time to get our revenge on Hoodoo. Oh look, let's splash in this body of What do you mean I drowned? This is a fucking puddle. Tough luck. Yeah, no shit. Anyway, you enter Empire guns blazing while one of your pals is pushing a cannon through the streets but never fucking uses it for some reason. And so you take the role of infiltrating the saloon and find Hoodoo, who is torturing one of your resistance compadres. He tries to run away and you have to kill a lot of his men. But finally, when it's just the two of you, revenge is served.
I'm Hoodoo, bro!
Yeah, you were.
You were.
This is the coolest guy to ever live. Now with Empire free from Hoodoo's tyranny, you return to Dutch looking for an expert in cracking safes to recover the one in the wreck of the boat from the beginning. The only problem is that the bastard's gonna get hanged because of some issue in a poker game. Dear Lord, what is wrong with these people? So, you save his ass and escape from the town and return to the wreckage, only to get captured by a criminal named Hollister and taken prisoner to his camp full of savages. Man, poor Colton can't catch a break. You need to escape the place, so you help a native that is being beaten up by a bandit and he tells you that he knows a way out, but you gotta rescue his mates first. Oh, fucking hell. Find the Indian warriors. I'm trying to find the Indian warriors, but I can't see a goddamn thing. Shit. Once you're all together, you have to go unnoticed in a stealth section, and trust me, there's no room for mistakes here. Okay, this is going smoothly. You caused too much trouble? What do you mean? I did everything I was asked to do. Whatever. You escape the fort and suddenly this becomes a war movie, as you help the tribe to bring down the fort by infiltrating using canoes and blowing everything up using their own cannons. An interesting detail about the game is how well the bodies can be dismembered. I swear, the more I play, the more I fall in love with this game. Only one more thing to do before searching the wreckage, and that's killing Hollister. Remember at the beginning of the video when I talked about the game's difficulty? Well, according to my own experience, this is the part where the difficulty spikes like it's the fucking Everest. If I dare to even show my head for a moment, this fucker can kill me in 2 or 3 hits. I had to cheese the fuck out of him, otherwise it is impossible. Or maybe this is the correct way to beat him, you know, taking cover and shooting while he reloads his gun, like a normal person. Nah, surely the game is wrong. In a last effort to kill you, he blows himself up, because why not? And now you get a first row seat into my nightmare. Once you get to the boat wreckage, you have to battle some cavalry, and fucking hell is this a drag. They do massive damage and take it like champs, so it took me a while and a lot of patience to get through that. But that's not the worst part, no. Then you have to battle the preacher, who's riding his horse, and he's hard as hell. The fucker does a lot of damage and can also resist it a lot, and this is a battle that you have to do on horseback, given that his horse is invincible, so you can't kill it. And the worst part is that there are only 3 horses in the area, so if you lose them all, you're screwed. As if that wasn't enough, the bastard can heal if you leave him alone for too long, so you have to be aggressive and accurate. Fuck! I really should have done more side quests before attempting this, but there's no turning back now, unless I want to repeat the complete mission all over again. Let's do this! Take this, you son of a bitch! You take the contents of the safe with you and go on your way to foil Magruder's plans. I take my time to do some side quests before continuing the story because I'm sure as hell not suffering through one situation like this again. Nope, no chance in hell that's happening to me again. Once I feel confident enough with my stats, I return to the Apache camp, but not before shooting a guy so hard that I made him levitate. The Apaches are a bit rough at first, until they take you to their leader and realize that Colton is his brother. They give him the other part of the relic and we go to figure out what the hell it means. You then realize that it leads to an ancient city of gold, and that's what Magruder has been looking for all this time. Just when you think things will go smoothly, you're ambushed and have to make your way down the mountain, only to get to the bottom and find a train with Magruder's right hand on a cannon and have the game's population shooting at you on an open field. Your horse gets decimated in a second no matter what you do, and then you become a big sweaty running target. I tried as hard as I could to find cover or find a way not to get turned into a sieve, but it was just impossible. The only way I found to do this is that if you're fast enough, you can position yourself in front of the cannon and merely kill the bastard. For some strange reason, he can hit you there, even though he's literally shooting at you point blank with the cannon. Just make sure you have killed enough gunmen to survive this risky tactic and to have equipped the sword you received from the preacher to ensure you're dealing maximum melee damage. It is now time for the final mission, which is a trek through a mine while you're riding a cannon, and it's tough. You're open to fire with a lot of high damage enemies, and there are not a lot of health flasks lying around. Did I mention that in this game you heal yourself by drinking whiskey? In my expert medical opinion, I find this very accurate to real-life medicine. Not my lawyers again. Getting back on track, sometimes it's even more effective to dismount the cannon and use quick draw to quickly eliminate large groups of enemies. Once you clear the blockade in the mine and survive another onslaught of enemies, you finally come face to face with Magruder, who is the final boss of the game. And he's impossible. He's wearing some kind of armor, so he's immune to bullets. How do you damage him, you might ask? Well, you must kill him using explosives and the geysers that are located around the arena, like a game of cat and mouse. You have to crawl around the rocks like a fucking coward and wait for the bastard to walk near the crater and time your explosive arrows correctly. Oh, and don't you dare turning your back on him. He will throw some dynamite, magically blowing up a geyser and killing you instantly. After an ungodly amount of time and even greater number of deaths, I managed to get him to second phase, which grants you a checkpoint, and thank God, because I swear, for the life of me, I cannot figure out what to do. You have to collapse the cavern, but how? I try with the explosive arrows, but as soon as I come out from cover, he fucking kills me. Throwing dynamite in his direction doesn't seem to work either, so what do? Turns out, you have to shoot his dynamite back at him, so make sure not to waste your quick draw. But let's not forget that we're dealing with the biggest bitch in the West, and he calls for reinforcements that can gun you down very quickly. I found that if you stay close to him, he won't call for reinforcements, but as for the dynamite, it has to be the large dynamite, so shooting at the small ones will do nothing, and he will only throw the big clump if you deal enough damage to him, so if you don't want to run out of bullets, you better make sure you're going for headshots. I was about to give up entirely until I realized that you could aim closer with the rifle. Once I figured this out, it was easy to shoot him in the head, so that he would throw the large TNT. Good fucking riddance, you one-eyed son of a bitch! And that was gone. That was quite an exciting ride, don't you think? So, what is my final verdict? For starters, Red Dead Revolver ain't got shit on this game. Gun perfectly encapsulates the feel of the Wild West setting, the missions are varied and filled with action, the gameplay is smooth, and its mechanics work perfectly well for what the game demands from the player. If there's one thing I could say was not entirely of my liking, was the story, as it was way too simple, but even then, it had a lot of the elements used in this genre of fiction, which makes it compelling despite its simplicity. If you have never played this game, I encourage you to try it out. You won't regret it. Just make sure to be well equipped for the toughest moments of the game. Don't make the same mistakes as me. That will be all for today, my friends. I hope you have enjoyed this extensive journey through the old, wild, and sometimes weird West. Tell me, have you played Gun? Did you like it, or do you prefer Red Dead Revolver? Let me know in the comments below, and let's meet next time for more obscure gems and niche experiences. And remember, one game a day keeps the plague doctor away. See ya!